And now we're getting in news from Kolkata. Many people are feared dead where an under-construction bridge has collapsed. The incident has happened just near Ganesh Talkies in Girish Park. We're getting to hear that rescue operations is still currently on. This is that bridge that collapsed. It was under construction. We still do not know the extent of casualties. But these are visuals coming in from Kolkata. The incident that took place near Ganesh Talkies in Girish Park. Rescue operations, as we can see, is currently going on. We can see a lot of people also who have gathered at the site and workers there who are trying to, just see if nobody has come under the debris. Okay, we have India Today's Indrajit Kundu to update us with the very latest. Indrajit, do we know, are there any reports of casualties? How many people, are feared to be trapped under the debris?
Well, that's right, Avantika. This flyover wasn't constructed. It's an under construction flyover in a very congested part of North Kolkata, in the Ganesh Talkies area. This is the Vivekananda Road flyover. What we are given to understand at this point in time are that disaster management teams are there trying to rescue people who may have been trapped underneath this flyover. And initial reports does suggest that there will be a few casualties. We cannot confirm to you the number right now because the incident has taken place just a short while back. And, more disaster management teams are in fact on its way. There are drillers that are being used to rescue people who are maybe trapped inside. So some of the previously injured, we believe, are already being shifted to the Calcutta Medical College Hospital, which is not very far away from the site where this incident has taken place. But as you can see on the visuals, it's a heavily congested area, Girish Park area. The Vivekananda Road flyover, which is an under construction flyover, a part of it has collapsed, and there generally there are on a general day there would be several cars and vehicles that are parked right underneath this under construction flyover. So therefore, chances are that people would be trapped there, and there would be some sort of casualties are there. We'll have to ascertain as to what are the exact figures in a short while from now.
Absolutely, and I can understand right now, Indrajit, the topmost priority is to rescue, as many people and bring them to safety. But who will take responsibility? How can this flyover just collapse that was being constructed?
Well, absolutely. I mean, this flyover has been, under construction for several years now. There have been several, deadlines that have been missed by this flyover, which is being constructed here. The construction of this, of course, began during the left regime before this government, and it has been continuing. However, there has been certain legal tangles. There have been problems with land acquisition, because of which this flyover work has not been finished. And now we see that a portion of it has collapsed. So obviously, it will take some time before the government agencies are held accountable, and the company, which of course has got the tender to construct this flyover, will also be, I'm sure, taken to task.
Have we got a reaction from the state government, from the Chief Minister about this incident so far?
Well, these are initial times. We haven't got a reaction officially so far, but I'm sure the Chief Minister will be apprised, and she will be taking stock of the situation from a very short while from now.
Okay, there was an eyewitness account. We got some witnesses just, sharing their experiences of what exactly happened. This is an under construction flyover that collapsed in Kolkata. Now, there are several people feared to be trapped under the debris. We were speaking to Indrajit a short while back, and he was telling us that most of the people who have been rescued have been shifted to the Calcutta Medical Hospital. This has taken place in a very congested area. Indrajit is still with us. Indrajit, can you just update us with the very latest information that you have about this bridge, this flyover collapse? We were just hearing the, eyewitnesses recounting their experiences about how they heard a very huge and loud explosion and then immediately rushed to the, to the site where the incident took place.
Well, that's right. What we are learning from the site is that there are horrifying things at this point in time, because a massive portion of it has collapsed on whatever it was underneath. There were, as I've been saying, that it's an area which we are familiar of. It's a congested area, and at any given point in the day, because it's a heavy, business area, you have lots of shops and other establishments there. You would see a lot of cars parked right underneath that flyover, which is under construction, which is being built right away. So you can expect some people out there who would be trapped and they are being rescued. What I can confirm to you right now is that one casualty is being confirmed by the police right now. So one person has died in this mishap that has taken place this afternoon here in Kolkata. And what we are given to understand from reports on the ground is that the casualty figures can go up. So disaster management teams are there. We'll have to confirm as to what is the exact casualty figure a little later on. But right now, one person dead and caused injured in this tragedy in Kolkata.
All right, and Indrajit, I had to cut you off when you were responding to the question when I asked you about any response from the state government. Can you just update us if you've heard from any official from the state government about this incident?
Well, we are yet to hear from the state government, of course, but as you know, the disaster management teams are already, working at the site at this point in time. We are sure that the, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee would be apprised. She's busy campaigning in various districts.
Yes.
She would be apprised of the situation. So we'll have to wait and see whether we get a reaction from the Chief Minister, sometime soon.
Can you explain to us the layout of this area? You did mention it's a very, very, heavily congested area. We were hearing some eyewitnesses that there are many rickshaws there. There are several people who are believed to have been just around the area of construction. But if you could just explain to our viewers, the area where this flyover has collapsed.
Well, that's right. This is the Vivekananda Road flyover, and as the name suggests, it's on Vivekananda Road, and it moves from, close to the Bra Bazar area towards Vivekananda Road, which is in north central Kolkata. Now, this flyover has been in the making for some time now, several years, and the area where it has collapsed is called the Ganesh Talkies area, and it's a heavily congested area where actually there are a lot of business and shops and other establishments. It is just off Bra Bazar area. And, you will, on a general day like this, in the afternoon, which is where the prime business time, you would see that not just, cars, but several vehicles, as you said, thelas, rickshaws, auto rickshaws. You will find several vehicles out there flying in the area. So, since you have all these shops and establishments right next to this flyover, and this flyover is coming up in such a congested area that some had earlier even complained that the flyover was almost seeping out of their windows. They could, in fact, touch the flyover if they opened their windows. So there were a lot of, controversies at the time when the flyover was conceived in the very first place during the left, government in Kolkata. So it's been, there have been certain legal tangles. That's the reason why the flyover has not been completed. And now it has resulted in this catastrophe where a portion of it has collapsed, and we are expecting there will be some amount of casualties.
Okay, just stay with me. Right now, Indrajit, we'll go straight to India Today's editor, Shiv Arur. Shiv, can you just explain to us, what exactly happened? Where did this flyover collapse? Because we believe that it was a very, very, congested area. There were several people who are believed to be at that time when this flyover collapsed.
Well, Indrajit was telling us about how this is a really congested part of North Kolkata. We're getting you this aerial view on Google Earth to give you an example and a perfect view of just how congested and built up this particular area is, where this horrific tragedy has taken place in Kolkata. Many people feared death. As we scroll through these images of the Girish Park area in North Kolkata, let's just tell our viewers that this is one of the most congested parts of the city. It's a highly built up area, very, very narrow roads. There's an arterial road passing through Girish Park, and the bridge that was being built was in this particular area. Now, precisely where we're going to get to in just a moment. We've got video footage of the actual tragedy, but here's just how congested and built up the Girish Park area of North Kolkata is. This aerial view giving you a sense of how much, how close together the houses are, how built up this area already is, the level of construction that's taking place. As you can see, there aren't even spaces between the constructions. There are just narrow gullies and lanes between the houses. They are so congested, there's hardly a few feet between houses. That's how congested, that's how closely built these areas are, making Girish Park, where this tragedy has taken place, one of the most congested, the most built up, the most, closely built parts and crowded crowded parts of North Kolkata. So you can imagine the implications of a tragedy taking place here. Not just that it's a congested area, also because emergency response medical services are going to find it difficult actually getting there. Obviously, they've responded very quickly. This is a terrible tragedy where this bridge has collapsed, but the congested nature of Girish Park in North Kolkata also adds challenges of how quickly people can get there to rescue those who may still be alive.
Absolutely, Shiv. Thanks so much for getting us, and explaining to us where exactly did this, incident take place. We're getting in visuals of that flyover, part of the flyover that collapsed, and officials are fearing that there could be more deaths. So far, one person has been killed, but we're also getting to hear that several people have been injured as the flyover that was being constructed collapsed just a short while back. Efforts are still going on to rescue all those who are trapped under the debris, and those who have been rescued have been immediately shifted to the Calcutta Medical Hospital. We believe that this under construction flyover, was being constructed for several years. In fact, its construction started during the left regime and it was still not completed. And as Shiv and Indrajit both were pointing out, the flyover was being constructed in a very, very congested area. It is at Bada Bazaar, a very busy area in central Kolkata, just near Ganesh Talkies, as editor India Today Shiv was showing us in those Google Maps. A very big tragedy that has taken place in Kolkata about an under construction flyover that collapsed. And we also heard witnesses, just recounting the horror. In fact, they said that they heard a very huge rumble, a very huge explosion, and immediately rushed out of their homes to see what exactly happened. Some of them even saw some smoke, coming out from the construction site. India Today's Indrajit Kundu is with us to get us the very latest. Indrajit, can you just tell us, about the rescue teams who are there, on the site? Are there enough, policemen and even fire personnel to, help rescue those who are believed to be buried under the debris?
Well, absolutely. There are disaster management teams which are trying to rescue people who may have been, buried in that debris. And what has happened is, what has resulted because of this tragedy is that the main arterial road, the Central Avenue, which is one of the most important, crucial thoroughfares of Kolkata, which leads towards Vivekananda Road crossing, where this incident has taken place. It's completely chock-a-block because of traffic. So, police have its task completely cut out at this point in time to control traffic, so that even some of the, fire department cars and rescue teams are able to make their way to the exact location where this incident has taken place. Because the entire area, in and around the entire area, there is huge traffic jam at this point in time. So it's going to be a difficult task. We'll try and connect to the Disaster Management Minister of West Bengal, Javed Khan. Hopefully in a short while from now, he'll be able to give us an estimate as to what is the number of casualties that have been admitted to the Calcutta Medical College Hospital. We are given to understand that one person is confirmed dead. There are confirmed reports that are suggesting that the casualties could be 4 by now. Some are suggesting much higher, but we'll wait till an official confirmation about the casualties so far.
Okay, we're getting in some more reaction. Okay, Indrajit, we were just hearing eyewitnesses there, and obviously they are so shaken and shocked. But tell me something. Who will be accountable for this fatal bridge collapse? Why was it under construction for so many years? Who was responsible for the construction of this flyover?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the state PWD department, which is the nodal agency, of course, will have to, answer. They have some serious answering to do as far as this flyover is concerned. And it's a big tragedy that is unfolding in Kolkata right now, and it's going to be a huge issue given that the assembly elections are just knocking at the doors. Because the state PWD department, which is the nodal agency looking after all these construction projects across the city, they are the ones who have been looking after it. There is, of course, a private agency which is won the tender for this flyover, and they are the ones who are constructing it. I'm sure they will also be booked, and they will also be brought to book, and there will be legal proceedings against them. But initially, of course, it is the government which has to take the responsibility for this incident at this point in time, because they are the ones who, of course, are in charge of all these construction projects, the state PWD department. It is headed by Financial Minister Fihad Hakim. We'll try and reach out to him from a short while from now and see as to how he reacts.
But tell me, Indrajit, how tough will it be, for the disaster management teams to actually reach the site, to, reach the part of the flyover that has collapsed? Because it won't be possible to lift up, the heavy boulders and stone and rescue people. They will obviously have to get in cranes there to lift up the, parts of the flyover that has collapsed.
Well, absolutely. It's not just the concrete, but if you see the visuals, there are huge steel girders that are there, which basically support the concrete structure of this flyover. So obviously, they'll have to bring in heavy-duty, machines to be able to clear the debris from this area. And as I've been saying, since it's a very congested area,
yes,
and it's not the lanes next to it are also very narrow. So it will be a Herculean task, actually.
Yes, absolutely. Stay with me, Indrajit. Indrajit is continuing to update us with the very latest about the under construction flyover that collapsed. Many people are feared to be trapped under the debris. So far, we know that one person has been killed, but there are several other injured. Indrajit, you were telling us that all those who are injured are being rushed to the Calcutta Medical Hospital. How many ambulances are right now there at the spot? Indrajit, can you hear me? Okay, we'll go to Indrajit in just a short bit. But just a quick recap, this is a flyover that was being constructed at Bada Bazaar. It's a very congested area in central Kolkata. This is a place just near Ganesh Talkies. And we've been hearing, eyewitnesses where they have said that all of a sudden they heard a loud explosion. In fact, just till last night, everything was going off smoothly. The construction was happening smoothly. And then all of a sudden today, they heard this loud rumble, this loud explosion, and which prompted them to rush out of their homes. And then they saw part of the flyover collapsing all of a sudden. Indrajit, if you could just update us first with the very latest. The last time I spoke to you, you said that several others, are injured. They're being shifted to the nearest hospital. What is the latest information that you have?
That's right. We can't confirm as to whether the casualty figures have gone up. The last that we heard from the police, of course, is that one person has died. But, there are various unconfirmed reports that are coming in from eyewitnesses who are there at the site, and they are saying there are several people who are buried in that debris. So you can expect the casualties might just go up, because as I've been saying, that in order to reach the site by the rescue teams, and in fact even we are on the way, and there are huge traffic snarls that have been created because of this incident on entire Central Avenue area, which is the main thoroughfare, the main arterial road that runs from South Kolkata to North Kolkata. And this is of course a very congested area. It's not very far away from the Bada Bazaar area, which many audiences across the country will know. It's a very congested business area of Kolkata. So you can imagine the situation out there. It's complete chaos at this point. Locals, of course, are also helping in the rescue effort at this point, along with the disaster management officials. But as far as numbers are concerned, we are being told that there is one person who has died. The unconfirmed reports, again I'm saying, is pegging the death toll at even as high as 10 right now.
All right, so rescue and relief operations are continuing. Some workers have also been pulled out from under the huge chunks of concrete. But Editor India Today, Shivarur, is just taken the time out to try and explain to us where exactly has this incident taken place and why it will be a Herculean task for, the disaster management team to, rescue many people, because it's a very congested area. It is in central Kolkata. But here's a report that has been sent by Shivarur.
We're getting you this aerial view on Google Earth to give you an example and a perfect view of just how congested and built up this particular area is, where this horrific tragedy has taken place in Kolkata. Many people feared death. As we scroll through these images of the Girish Park area in North Kolkata, let's just tell our viewers that this is one of the most congested parts of the city. It's a highly built up area, very narrow roads. There's an arterial road passing through Girish Park, and the bridge that was being built was in this particular area. Now, precisely where we're going to get to in just a moment. We've got video footage of the actual tragedy, but here's just how congested and built up the Girish Park area of North Kolkata is. This aerial view giving you a sense of how much, how close together the houses are, how built up this area already is, the level of construction that's taking place. As you can see, there aren't even spaces between the constructions. There are just narrow gullies and lanes between the houses. They are so congested, there's hardly a few feet between houses. That's how congested, that's how closely built these areas are, making Girish Park, where this tragedy has taken place, one of the most congested, the most built up, the most, closely built parts and crowded parts of North Kolkata. So you can imagine the implications of a tragedy taking place here. Not just that it's a congested area, also because emergency response, medical services are going to find it difficult actually getting there. Obviously, they've responded very quickly. This is a terrible tragedy where this bridge has collapsed, but the congested nature of Girish Park in North Kolkata also adds challenges of how quickly people can get there to rescue those who may still be alive.
Well, a quick recap for the benefit of our viewers who have just tuned in. What you're seeing are visuals of a flyover collapse. Several people are believed to have been injured as the flyover that was being constructed in Kolkata collapsed. Efforts are going on to rescue as many people who are believed to be trapped under the debris. In fact, we're also getting to hear from eyewitnesses that they heard a very huge explosion which prompted them to rush out of their homes, and what they saw was a part of that flyover that was under construction for several years now had collapsed. Workers are pulling out people stuck under the debris from under huge chunks of concrete. Even civilians are joining in the rescue efforts, and they're also doing their best to try and ensure that as many people can be saved. Those who have been pulled out from under the debris are being rushed to the Calcutta Medical Hospital, which is very near the site where this incident has happened. It has happened in a very congested area. The flyover was being constructed in Bada Bazaar, a busy and a very congested area in central Kolkata. This is just near Ganesh Talkies. What we're getting to hear is that the disaster management team has already arrived at the site of incident. A quick recap that this flyover was under construction. It's a part of the flyover that has collapsed, and this flyover was being constructed for several years. In fact, the construction started during the left regime. There are many buildings around the flyover. In fact, we're getting to hear from our correspondents and from all the reports trickling in that several rickshaws were also under the flyover that was being constructed. There was a lot of traffic movement because this is, of course, a working day, and there were many people also who were going to their offices when the incident took place. Traumatic time for those who witnessed the collapse, and we also have been hearing several eyewitnesses who themselves have confessed how shocked they are to see this flyover collapsing, because it has been under construction for so many years, and in fact they were witness to that horrific tragedy that has taken place. The disaster management team is already on site, but we're also getting to hear that it is going to be very tough for the ambulances and even the cranes to reach the area, because it is a very congested area. As you can see for yourselves, there are so many people who have thronged the area, some of them just absorbing the enormity of the situation that has taken place, and others simply looking at the rescue work. Most of them have also helped the workers present there in the rescue operations. This is indeed a huge tragedy that has taken place, and officials are fearing that there could be more deaths. What you're seeing is the flyover that was being constructed in Kolkata that collapsed, and efforts are going on now to rescue all those who are trapped under the debris. No one really knows how many people could be under the debris because this is such a congested area. There were so many people believed to be, traveling at the time the incident took place. There were several rickshaws who were parked under the flyover that was being constructed. So one can just imagine the enormity of this tragedy that has taken place. But we can see, some rescue efforts, and you can just imagine how many people are there at the site right now. Cranes are going to be, sent to the site as well, just to lift that huge concrete and to enable, people to rescue those trapped under the debris. Very, very tragic incident. We've still not got an official word from the state government. And remember, West Bengal is going to polls. The Chief Minister right now, as our correspondent was pointing out, is not really in Kolkata. But we'll just wait and see what she has to say about this incident and what really will be the services that would be pressed into action. An under construction flyover that collapsed. Several people are feared dead. Several others are injured. Those who have been rescued have been shifted to the Calcutta Medical Hospital. This is a flyover that has been under construction for several years now. In fact, we're getting to hear that the construction started during the left regime. So you can just imagine that, this bridge has still not been constructed. A new government is already in place, and now the state is once again going to elections, and still this flyover was under construction. Workers are trying their very best to pull out those stuck under the large chunks of concrete. Civilians are helping out. Some workers have been pulled out from under the concrete, but more deaths are feared. We'll just have to wait and hear from the state government and from the officials. What we have received so far are reactions, from the witnesses, from people who are staying in buildings that are a stone's throw away from the under construction flyover. In fact, all they had to do is just to look down and see the construction of this flyover. So obviously they are extremely shaken and shocked to have witnessed the collapse of the flyover, because according to the witnesses, everything was going absolutely fine till late last night, and just to witness a tragedy like this indeed has been rather, terrifying for most of them.
Now, Pakistan captain Shahid Afridi might have landed himself in trouble yet again while speaking about fans in India. Asked about fans in Mohali before their match with New Zealand on Tuesday.
Go to different villages across India and actually stay there for a month and see the villagers, help them. And what it does is it opens your eyes to a whole new part of India that you never really saw before. So Amrita gives